Welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about the challenge CBS versus the challenge MTV. My cast favorites, my cast dislikes, what I think about the formatting, pre-gaming, and I'm also working on something to have a little less edits in my filming. So let me know down in the comments below if it's easier to watch and less distracting. People are acting on a whole nother level on that. So I can't wait to see that karma train coming through. Choo-choo. Mood of the day. Really? You gotta give us more credit than that. Some people, buckle up, buttercup. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. Welcome back to Mona's Take. I am your host, Mona Rose, and we are here to talk about everything reality TV. I want to welcome all my new subscribers. And if you haven't already, please like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss anything I have coming up. The CBS versus the MTV version of the challenge may differ because of broadcasting rules. CBS is a local channel. It's on prime time. So they're going to have to be a bit more conservative on what they air versus what MTV is allowed to air. MTV is a cable channel, so therefore they're allowed to be a little bit more liberal on what they show as far as the hookups and the language that CBS is not going to be allowed to show as much of. So we got the word that TJ will be the host. Now, I've seen a lot of back and forth on Twitter talking about how he shouldn't be the host of the show, that it should be somebody from one of the CBS shows. I disagree. I will tell you, coming from a die-hard challenge fan, TJ Lavin is the challenge. It has not, nor will it ever be the challenge without TJ Lavin. This man, he gives the contestants hell. He hates quitters. He pushes them. And I can see him doing that with this cast. I, for one, am here for it. I want to see him give this cast a hard time. I want to see him push them. But I have a feeling that for the majority of the challenge fandom, that this show is going to be weak. It's not going to be what we're used to compared to the challenge. I think it's probably going to be a disappointment to us as challenge fans to see them, for lack of better words, dumb down the challenge. They're going to have to bring down the level to which we're used to seeing when we hear the challenge. There'll be one man and one woman from each country that will win their season, and then they will go on to War of the Worlds and they will compete. It includes the USA, Argentina, Australia, and the UK. Now to talk about how the challenge CBS is rumored to be working out. We know that TJ will be the host for all of the shows and all of the countries. He's doing Argentina, he's doing the UK, he's doing us, and what was the other one that I forgot? The UK. Anyway, he's doing all of them. Plus, he's doing the challenge on MTV and All Stars. So how all this plays out in the timeline is going to be interesting to watch. All of the shows are going to be taped and then aired at the same time, prospectively, in their own countries. So we're only going to get to see the USA version, the American version. We're not going to get to see the other three. I don't like this. How are we supposed to get to know these people? How are we supposed to know who we want to root for? Are we just rooting for the American team? I would like to root for the best team. But in order to do that, we have to know who they are. With MTV's challenge, we have casts coming back year after year. We know them, we love them. They have, well, and some of them we hate, but they have newbies that come in every year. But we know most of the players on the challenge. And we get to know the other ones through time. CBS is not giving us that. We're only going to be able to see the American version of the challenge. And then I guess when all 4 countries have done their challenge, then we will be able to watch on Paramount the final challenge. Let me know what you think in the comments about not being able to watch the other countries. I think it's crazy. I mean, how can we know what's going on? They could pick any 2 people they want from any of them. We do have a couple of added players to the rumored cast list. Kayla from The Amazing Race that just finished was one. And Leo from The Amazing Race is the other. If you guys remember, he was part of the duels. They called themselves the Afghanimals. He was on 3 different seasons of The Amazing Race. He was on 23, 24, and 31. I think he'll do well, but that only makes 3 Amazing Race players for the whole thing. Love Island has 10. Survivor has 10. Big Brother has 10. And Amazing Race has 3. That's a little too much stacked for my opinion. I think they're going to have trouble forming alliances. We know they're not going to do any pre-gaming because they don't have a large number of them to do that with. Maybe they'll align with the Survivor players, because I have a feeling that Love Island and Big Brother are going to combine. However, depending on the format that CBS uses for this show, they may have a chance. But I think that they're already the deck stacked against them. On the challenge, players have to be voted into elimination rounds. And then they compete to decide who stays in the game and who goes home. If you watch the challenge, you know. If you don't, that's why I'm explaining it to you. In the challenge, you have to be voted into elimination round. Now, they've done it several different ways. They can do it to where the people who are, or the team that is in power, puts 2 people into the elimination. The house as a whole votes to put someone into elimination. Those 2 go against each other. Now, they have done it in the past to where the people in power put someone into elimination, and that someone gets to pick who they go against. So just because someone's thrown into elimination doesn't necessarily mean that they're going home. If they're strong, they're going to be able to stay. And I think it's going to be harder to get out the strong players than any of these other reality TV shows, because they do have to compete for elimination. I'm afraid, though, the number of BB23 and Love Island players that they've got on there, that's going to be a massive alliance coming in. If they stick together, it's going to make the season, to me, predictable and boring. If we already know what's going to happen, if they're going to come together and conquer and get everybody else out, and then I guess, go after each other then. Most of the competitions in Love Island and Big Brother are, for lack of better terms, carnival games. They're backyard games. Nothing is really that dangerous or that competitive. I can think of OTAV that was a little physical, but it's also luck of just finding the right thing. I don't know much about Love Island, so I don't know exactly what kind of competitions they did, but I don't think it was that big a deal, because I know in one season they were on top of a rooftop in Las Vegas is where they filmed it. How much can you do there? So the competitions are not that stiff. Now Survivor, they have some competitions in Amazing Race. They're more physical. It's not in just one location because they're either out in Fiji or wherever they happen to be filming, you know. For Survivor, they can play a little bit more detailed competitions. Amazing Race, it's all over. I would probably say the Amazing Race has the closest to what we see in the Challenge MTV as far as games go and competitions. I mean, none of it compares to the Challenge. In the Challenge, they're jumping from a moving truck to truck while doing other things and being timed. They're swimming in caves. They're rappelling from 200-foot buildings. They're fighting it out in a mud pit, or the pole wrestle, or the famous hall brawl. They're being suspended hundreds of feet in the air on a platform while things are getting thrown at them, and they're trying to stay on the platform and not get thrown off into the ocean. None of this we've seen on any of the CBS reality shows. And I have a feeling that some of these casts are going to have a meltdown on every challenge if the challenges are like they are for Challenge MTV. Now, they could bring it down a notch and they could do it like they do for the All-Star cast of the challenge because they're older. So the challenges aren't as risky and as dangerous as what the regular cast does. We still don't know what type of format the show is going to take on yet. But if it's anything like the original challenge, I can see a lot of these players falling flat on their face. I don't think with this cast that we should expect to get any of the Challenge MTV competitions on CBS. I also read that we were supposed to be getting 8 MTV players. Not seen anything about that. They've not been on any of the rumored casts. Nothing's come out about that. I don't know if they're still doing it. But I would think if you're going to call it The Challenge, even though it's The Challenge CBS, you should have someone or some of the players that we know to bring the Challenge fandom over there. Because I don't know how most people feel, but me as a Challenge fan, I'm thinking this is going to be a knockoff. This is going to be nowhere near what we're used to seeing. It's going to be a joke when it comes to watching the challenge, in my opinion. They may prove me wrong, and I'll be covering it regardless, but that's my take on it. Alright, now we're going to do my favorite players and least favorite. And we're going to start with least favorite because there's only a couple. But I will say again, I do not watch Love Island, so I do not know any of those people. They will not be on any of my list, good or bad, because I don't know anything about them. So I'm just letting you guys know that up front before you start coming at me that I didn't have anybody from Love Island, because I'm not going to have. That's why it's called Mona's Take. Anyway, so I'll start with the least favorite. The two that I'm looking at going, why are they here? And that is David from Big Brother and Ozza from Big Brother. Now, Ozza didn't play that much of a physical game. She was not a physical threat in Big Brother at all. And honestly, she didn't play a very strategic game. Because if you remember when she started out, it was she couldn't lie. She had to tell the truth. She had to tell people what she was thinking. And we all know in Big Brother, that's not the way you play Big Brother. sometimes you have to lie. So I just don't, and her staying in the bedroom the whole time when it first started, I just don't see her interacting well with a lot of people. Now, yes, there's a lot of people there from BB23 that would probably keep her protected for quite a while. But I don't see her being a comp beast at all. These competitions, if we get what we normally get on the challenge, these players have never seen anything like it. Unless they watch the challenge, of course. But I'm saying they haven't done it themselves. And I just don't see why they would put Ozza on that cast. She wasn't strategic. She wasn't physical. She was just there. She was a number. She rode it to the end because she wasn't a threat to anybody. David. David was the other one. I'm like, why? Why? He's been on Big Brother twice and did nothing. The second time he got a chance to be on Big Brother, he still hadn't done his research. He still didn't know anything about Big Brother. He wasn't a fan. He didn't know anything about the game. And he didn't try to know. So to me, that's just 2 spots that could have gone to somebody else. Now, my favorites. And I think I'll tell you what I like about each one of them. Enzo, he played on Big Brother. He was funny. He wasn't a comp beast, but he was strategic. He had made friends with everybody. Like, I can't remember on his season anybody, oh, we got to get Enzo out. Oh, we got to get Enzo out. It never came up. He has a good social game. He's strategic. He was not a physical threat on Big B. So I don't see him being a physical threat on the challenge. If he couldn't even do the yard games, how is he going to compete in the challenge? Unless he's really, really changed a lot, or he was holding back what he could have done in BB. But I do like his personality. I hope he goes far. Xavier, the winner of BB23. I love Xavier. He's physical. He is strategic. He has a great social game. He has all of it. He's great at comps. He has a great social game. He is very strategic. I just think that he's a well-rounded player. I think that he will do well in the challenge. I'd like to see him go far, and I think he will. Danny from Survivor, 41. I love Danny. I think he'll do well. He is an ex-NFL player, so he knows what hard work is and working out and staying fit. I think he's going to be strategic, but he's also friendly. He also has a great social game. I think he'll go very far. Ben. I like Ben. Ben is good at comps, and he can be strategic. However, Ben's social game is not that great. So I think that may be what gets him in trouble. And honestly, if all of the players from Big Brother and Love Island gang up and say, all right, we're going to get all the Survivor players off. We're going to target all the Survivor players first. Then he may be in trouble. And I think he's probably going to be in trouble anyway, right off the bat. We'll see. Oh, and just FYI, it was rumored that Christmas was going to be on the cast. And now they're saying she is not on the cast. It's nothing from CBS. Again, this is from Gamer Vev, who I got the rumored cast list from on Twitter. Gamer Vev at GamerVevVev. Anyway, she says that Christmas is not going to be on the show now. She also says that Shannon and I don't remember who the other one was. One of the Love Island people. We're not going to be on it. You can look her up on Twitter, though. She's got a full cast list and the ones that she says is not going to be on it now. Tyson. I love Tyson. I think Tyson will go far. Tyson's strategic. He has a great social game. He is badass at the comps. I think he will go far. And he is not above lying. If any of you watched him on Survivor, you know that. But I think he's going to be a beast to beat. Sarah from Survivor. Love Sarah. A lot of people don't, and I know y'all gonna come at me about Sarah and not liking her. But I do. You have to give credit where credit's due. She is a workhorse. She is great at competitions. Her social game sucks, but she's strategic. So let's see if she can hang in there. I like Kayla from The Amazing Race. We saw her and Raquel on The Amazing Race. She did wonderful. I think she'll be really good. I think she'll have a good social game. I don't know if she'll be able to be conniving, because you don't really see that as much on The Amazing Race. So I don't know if she's going to be that way or not. But I know physical, she's in great shape. So I think she'll be fun to watch. And then my favorite female is Tiffany. Now, Tiffany has a great social game. I think she'll get in there. She'll be friends with everybody. She's strategic. She's the one that came up with the cookout. And that was the way that they did that, and the way that they got to the final 6 was her ideal. And it worked. So they better watch Tippy Toes, because I'm going to tell you, I think she learned something from Big Brother. I was really disappointed that she was the first one to go from the 6. That was not right. I wanted her to stay in longer. But I think she'll do well. It'll all boil down to the competitions, but I think she looks like she's fit. She looks a hell of a lot younger than what she actually is. So people who don't know her will not know her age, because she didn't let them know in the Big Brother house. But she's funny. I really hope, I want to say, out of the list that I just gave you, my dream winners would be Tiffany and Tyson. That would be who I would want for a female and a male for the winner of this. I love both of them. So that's my take on that. Tell me what you think in the comments. I will talk to you guys later. Have a great night. And as always, much love.